Check a flag.
Bring it down.
A beast of machine, gaining on you with speed, running gasoline lean. Give me all what I need, indeed. Pedal to the metal, so like that I dream. Can't settle for tea kettle when I can roast them like coffee beans. My chassis splitting the seams, pumping supreme. A rough race with enough trace, left smoking with steam. Spinning wheels as we hit the deals with high velocity. Break the rules of physics to win, become a race odyssey. Might be second place, but I'm riding behind. Set the draft, fly like the G-force, adjust, get the better laugh. My tires may be bald, riding the weather tracks, but I've left my checker pass so I can reach the checkered flag.
This portion of the Checkered Flag is brought to you by V&H Fresh, currently marketing their own brand of broccoli crowns, and at the start of this year importing their own label of strawberries and Roma tomatoes all the way from Mexico. V&H Fresh, just 8 months ago, decided to build and sponsor their own micro-sprint race team. They have a total of 4 cars and will be bringing a 5th in on April. Dedicated to helping with the race community and are blessed to be a part of it in a very small way. Trust V&H Fresh because there is no substitute for quality. In a world where business is tough, when your mornings are in a daze, tired and broken down, Ace Naylor set out on a quest.
What's the matter, sir?
Oh, I'm just looking for that one good cup of coffee, you know?
Oh, really? I know the perfect place.
Where?
Just right over there. Yaya's Coffee House.
Okay. Yaya's Coffee House. With freshly brewed coffee. Convenient location. Comfortable seating. Bonus features, free Wi-Fi.
Gee, kid, thanks. I feel so much better.
You're welcome, and thank you for this hot chocolate and this donut.
Hey, no problem. Oh, by the way, how much is the Wi-Fi here?
It's free.
Are you serious?
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yaya's Coffee House. Located at 14812 Olympic Drive in Clear Lake. Coming to a coffee cup near you. This portion of the show is brought to you by Yaya's Coffee House, located in the Burns Valley Mall in Clear Lake, right next to Grocery Outlet. Yaya's Coffee House has all your favorite hot, cold, to blended coffees. Shelby and Ashley and the gang are happy to serve you with whatever your heart desires from their new hot-looking menu. Open 7 days a week for your convenience. Come into Yaya's Coffee House for a family atmosphere today.
All right, folks, welcome to another edition of the Checkered Flag. I'm your host, Ace Naylor. I want to start out by saying huge hats off to Kyle Larson for winning the NASCAR Nationwide. Well, our first guest is guest number 1, known as Brody, the bully Armtrout. Brody, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Oh, you on the phone? There we go. Get you on there. How you doing, man? So tell us about how you got the name the bully.
Well, my dad's friend, very best friend, he raced on flat tracks
Right.
that had motorcycles, and his nickname was the bully.
Oh wow. Flat track motorcycles. They race those up here in Ukiah. Those are pretty exciting. Yeah. So what made you decide you wanted to get into racing?
Yeah. Why I wanted to even be in racing is because I kept on telling my dad on NASCAR, I said,
Right.
Why can't I do that? Why can't I do that? And one day, he got me a car. We started practicing at 3.5 years old.
Right on, buddy. Can you scroll? Good thing we're not live. Can you scroll down real quick and make sure I got the right questions? No, up. I'm sorry. No, there we go. Right there, right where it says guest 1. All right. So what made you decide you wanted to get in? So I already asked you that. So, so you were, how old were you when you first got into racing?
I was 5.
Oh, sweet. It says that when you were 3 years old, though, you got a little bit of practice when you were 3.
Yeah,
Over at Brown's,
3.5.
3.5 over at Brown's RV or at Browns Valley RV. You made a little track out there. How did you guys do that?
We took out this old grain tractor. We started using it and it broke, so we had to use a brand new one. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The banks are the hardest to make, but other than that, the track was really rough.
So your dad actually put in that track then, huh?
Yeah, he actually did.
Right. So you started like most people. You started out in a beginner box.
Yes.
Right on. So how was that experience? And then you moved up. Shortly after that, you moved up to a box stock. So how was that experience for you? Transition for you going from a beginner box to a box stock?
Well, the transition wasn't that hard at all because I hated how slow I was going and how baby
Right.
those motors were. I had to go up.
Right. So for those who may just be watching that don't understand what a beginner box and a box stock is, let's talk about that. Do you know what the difference is and what the difference? You know what the difference is, or can you explain what a beginner box is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Because the difference is the power. Because the beginner box go really slow, and the box stocks are right at my speed.
Right. So you also race a 250. So you're also into a 250.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. How is that going for you?
It's all right, but in the beginning of the year, I kept on telling my dad it was too hard to steer.
Yeah.
And I kept on telling him that he actually looked, and there was a bent key pin in there.
Right. That's pretty cool. So you've raced a lot of track. I've actually did a little following you. You raced a lot of tracks in your time. So talk about some of the tracks that you've raced.
I raced Lake Raceway.
Yeah.
And we did another race in Oregon.
Oh wow. Okay.
And
So you got
Checkered, Dixon, and Lakeport.
Oh, right on. So you got to go to Oregon. And also Nevada. You went to
Including
Nevada also.
Red Bluff.
Oh wow. So did you also go to Nevada as well?
Yes, I did.
How was that in Nevada? How were those experiences for you going out of state?
A little bit dusty. I mean, the track was all right.
No, you're not lying about a little bit dusty. I remember my experience announcing in Nevada. It's pretty dry there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Track was a little rough for me.
It was a little rough from the yeah.
Yeah.
So recently you did something really awesome that I want to talk about. You
It's
actually
that one.
it's actually worth
Coffee.
It's actually worth sharing to the fans. Is that goes to show how humble these kids are in passing the torch. But you actually passed a Outlaw Kart on to somebody. If you don't mind talking about that.
Yes. What I really look up to is Kyle Larson because at Red Bluff, all the times he comes over because he races there in the 500.
Right on, buddy. We'll get to Kyle Larson a little later, but I'm actually talking about the fact that you actually passed one of your box stock. Was it your box stock or beginner box? You passed your car onto a kid that just started racing at Dixon a couple weeks ago. That's what I wanted to talk about. You got to pass your car on.
Oh,
And that was
yeah,
pretty
how
cool.
I sold the car.
Yeah, but you so to speak, you got to pass the torch. You got to pass the torch and have your car on to
It was
another
pretty
kid. So.
tough. I wouldn't let go.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to let go. I heard the story that you were wanting to get your paint job off there, but
Yeah.
I understand because
I'm happy.
I understand because that means a lot to you guys. The paint job and the car design and that and the stickers and all those things that means a lot to a racer. So I completely understand that. But I was just giving you a huge hats off to the fact that you actually were able to pass that car on. So that's pretty awesome.
It was pretty tough. Even that, my dad has these metal brass knuckles that he used for painting.
Right.
And we painted a brass knuckle, and I told him, "Oh, dang it, the brass knuckle, it's all painted."
Yeah, I heard you went over to the cart and you started scratching off some of the paint stuff. So
No,
you didn't want the paint job being on there.
It was stickers. I pulled the one off on every single side,
Yeah,
and the brass knuckles that were stickers.
No, but I think it's pretty awesome that you did that. And like I said, I completely understand. Your design is your own unique design of a race car driver. It's your own unique design. So I completely understand that. Let's
we
talk
didn't
about
have time to get it all off because we had box stock to deal with.
Yeah. So let's talk about your the brass knuckles real quick before I get to the next question. How did that come about? Is that part of the whole bully thing, or?
Yeah, it came out of that.
Right on. Right on. So there's other things that you actually like to do too. You like to be at the shop with your dad, and you even go out. You even go out to a shooting range and go out shooting. Tell us about that.
Shooting, if you're all crazy,
Yeah.
you can't shoot because you have to pay attention to what's happening, and you'll calm yourself down. That's what helps me win, because if you're calm enough,
Yeah.
you could win. Everybody else wants to jump to the start.
Brody, wow, you were such a smart kid. He must have read my notes, because I was going to ask him that, how that helps you with staying focused on racing. So you're so wise beyond your years there, buddy.
I like shooting.
Yeah, yeah. Sure. Let's talk about your short-term and long-term goals.
My short term is trying to win.
Yep. So what are your long-term goals? You have a inspiration to get into NASCAR. Is that correct?
Yes, that is.
Right on. And we could talk about that. Now we'll talk about it. You look up to Kyle Larson, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. What did you think of his win at the Nationwide last weekend?
Actually, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on, buddy. So hey, where are you? Let's well, first, sponsors and shout-outs. So want to let anybody you want to thank.
Browns Valley RV and Fiddler Roof. Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler on the Roof. Okay. And so where are you going to be next?
Dixon Speedway.
All right. So we're going to see you in Dixon in 2 weeks. Next week at the 600 race, but we're going to see you at Dixon in 2 weeks then.
Yes.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how they plan that. I know that this last weekend got rained out, so I wonder if they'll make it a 2-day event so you guys can make up the points.
Well, we will be there.
Yep. All right, buddy. I will be there, and I will see you there. Thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate you being on the show, man, and you have a good night. All right.
All right.
Okay, buddy. All right.
You too.
Bye. Wow, Brody the Bully Armtrout. What a very intelligent kid, man. Oh, hey, by the way, I want to give a huge shout out real quick. Tony Wilkinson, thank you for stepping up, man. Last minute, he's in here running the teleprompter, and he was back there shaking his head and smiling because he sees the notes, and the kid is just such a bright kid. We're gonna have another commercial break because we got to pay our bills, and we're gonna be right back, and we're gonna be able to get into the meat of things and see how things happen on the track and in the middle of the track. Our guests are going to be Dave Warden and, of course, Chris Scott, and that'll be right after the commercial break.
This portion of the Checkered Flag is brought to you by V&H Fresh, currently marketing their own brand of broccoli crowns, and at the start of this year importing their own label of strawberries and Roma tomatoes all the way from Mexico. V&H Fresh, just 8 months ago, decided to build and sponsor their own micro-sprint race team. They have a total of 4 cars and will be bringing a 5th in on April. Dedicated to helping with the race community and are blessed to be a part of it in a very small way. Trust V&H Fresh because there is no substitute for quality. In a world where business is tough, when your mornings are in a daze, tired and broken down, Ace Nealer set out on a quest.
I'm just looking for that one good cup of coffee, you know?
Oh, really? I know the perfect place.
Where?
Just right over there. Yaya's Coffee House.
Okay.
Yaya's Coffee House. With freshly brewed coffee. Convenient location. Comfortable seating. Bonus features, free Wi-Fi.
Gee, kid, thanks. I feel so much better.
You're welcome, and thank you for this hot chocolate and this donut.
Hey, no problem. Oh, by the way, how much is the Wi-Fi here?
It's free.
Are you serious?
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yaya's Coffee House. Located at 14812 Olympic Drive in Clear Lake. Coming to a coffee cup near you. This portion of the show is brought to you by Yaya's Coffee House, Located in the Burns Valley Mall in Clear Lake, right next to Grocery Outlet. Yaya's Coffee House has all your favorite hot, cold, to blended coffees. Shelby and Ashley and the gang are happy to serve you with whatever your heart desires from their new hot-looking menu. Open 7 days a week for your convenience. Come on into Yaya's Coffee House for a family atmosphere today.
All right, we're back. Our guests are Dave Warden, and on the phone we have Chris Scott. Chris Scott is business partners with Dave Warden, both owners of Action Captured Images. I want to thank both of you guys for being on the show. What's going on? Chris?
Oh, nothing. I'm just kind of...
All right, just wanted to make sure you're there. Just want to make sure you're there. Technology, we all have to double check with technology. But,
okay.
All right, so let's get right into it. We'll start with Dave. So we'll get back, let's get back to how this all started for you, actually.
Well, could we show a picture?
Yeah, there is a picture that will show on the screen, but yeah,
Okay.
It won't show up on there.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Racing started in my family with my grandfather.
Yeah.
That is my grandfather and my grandfather's car.
Right.
That one won 2-point series for ARA, which went on to become NARC. My dad drove it for another year, won another championship for NARC.
NARC, can you explain NARC?
NARC
We may have some new
Northern Auto
viewers here.
Racing Club.
Yeah.
This was the precursor to the Golden West Classic and the King of the West.
Yeah, what's now the King of the West.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's correct. Right.
So that's where we started. I was 6 weeks old when I went to my race, which was Calistoga.
Right.
And pretty much been a love affair ever since then. I've been going to races wherever my dad raced, which, basically once he was done running sprint cars, he was racing super modifieds and also sportsmen over at Petaluma Speedway and Antioch. And then basically we traveled wherever, they were racing.
Right on. Yeah, and then your brother has actually still raced part of the team, and he still actually gets out there and races.
Yeah, my brother still races 360 sprint cars at Petaluma, and he'd run USAC West for quite a few years, and decided he wanted to go back to dirt track.
Right.
But now to get into where we're at today, my brother Ivan, same brother, has a screen printing business, and he needed a photographer at the racetrack to go ahead and take pictures of all the different cars, just so he had photo files so he can go ahead and do signs for them.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, our old, before I went to the leisure suit here, our old picture, our old shirts that we had with our logo on it, they actually made for us.
Yeah.
So he does shirts, he does the decals you see on the cars and all that. On the phone right now, I want to get to it. We got Chris Scott. Chris, how you doing, man? Right.
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I am awesome. So hey, how did you get to meet this? How did you get to meet our wonderful guest here? And how did you get started taking photos? Is it up on there, Smoking Joe?
God, I met Dave back when we were kids. Junior high school, maybe elementary school.
Ages and ages ago, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Right.
Way back when.
Yeah.
Way back. We've been hanging out together ever since, really. Family. But how I got my start in the racing was pretty much through Dave. And another good friend of ours, Chris Ambrogi, who, between the two of them, I usually was at a track just about every weekend watching racing somewhere, hopefully Petaluma, but, or up to Calistoga or wherever, but pretty much how I got my start. I just fell in love with it. Was never really a driver or anything, but was always there at the track.
Chris is leaving out the part where he was one of the crazy guys that did the racing on two wheels for a while there.
Right.
He was doing the motorcycle racing.
Oh, so you raced? Well, yeah, we were gonna get to that. We were gonna get to how you got started. So you actually raced.
I was real competitive, but yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you raced a motorcycle. Was it flat track?
It was actually motocross. They had motocross come through Petaluma Speedway for a few years, and we'd always pack the truck ups, on the weekends and head out to Sears Point back when they had the motocross tracks open back then. It would cost you $2-3 a day per bike to go out and run their 600 plus acres of tracks, or in trails out there. It was a blast.
Yeah. And so is this You both can answer this in your own way. This is obviously a very dangerous job you do out there in the middle of the
It's extremely dangerous sometimes, but you don't get a closer view of the action than right there in the center. And when you're 5 to 10 feet away from cars that are going just as fast as they possibly can go, as long as they're going the direction they're supposed to, everything's good. If a car jumps a tire, well, you better be running.
I've seen it. I've watched you and Chris, and you guys are very quick on. You have to be. You're both very quick on your feet. I've seen you guys move. Practically defy the laws of gravity. Actually, when those cars come out.
I know technology is a lot better today, and it's obviously a lot safer today than it was back, say, 10, 20 years ago. But I see the car come down the main straightaway at Calistoga back in the 70s and blew his motor, and bits and pieces flew up into the stands and hit a couple people.
Ooh.
So, where are you safer? Are you safer in the stands, or are you safer out in the middle of the track? I choose to be out in the middle of the track.
Yeah.
Well, the laws of inertia, everything kind of carries away from you when you're in the infield. But that being said, at Arizona, was watching a race, figured I was in the infield, right in the apex of the corner, and anything was going to be carried away from me. 2 cars tangled up, 1 car ended up flipping directly at me.
Yeah.
And missed me by about 2 feet.
Wow.
So as I'm hanging my camera back to get a picture of them flipping as I'm running.
Yeah. So you got to, a lot of people have told me, as an announcer, you have to be quick, and you guys have to be quick. You guys are the ones that have to be quick, because those cars are constantly, and they're constantly passing each other and jockeying for position. The biggest thing that I think is absolutely amazing with you two is how do you guys get the actual photo of the guy inside his car while he's moving? You can see his facial expressions. It's that good. I don't know how you guys do that.
I'll let Chris take that one.
Let Chris take that one.
Got to have good equipment, I guess. You got to just, obviously, the better the equipment you got, the better the product's going to turn out. And it's just all about the settings. You got to play with the light.
Right.
How fast the car is going, just everything. And once you get the settings that you want, you snap the picture off. You hope that everything's going to turn out good.
Yeah.
And that's about it, really. Best I could put it.
Yeah, that's correct. It's awesome because the way I see it is, you have obviously multimedia is a huge part of bringing the track to life. But the thing that I with video and of course with still pictures, it's just amazing how you guys bring it to life. It's almost as if you're actually there at the racetrack and you're actually hearing the fan, even though you don't. It actually brings a lot of life to the photos.
We're wanting to be able to preserve the sport, preserve the moment in time, the historical side of it, so people can look back 20, 30 years down the road and say, hey, that's a cool looking picture. I wish I was there.
Right.
It's like where, the pictures you see today on the internet with the Throwback Thursday stuff everybody's doing. These are cool pictures, man. I wish I could have been there and seen that event or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know that definitely the technology as far as cameras and stuff, we get a much clearer picture than most people do with their videos, with their GoPros and everything else.
Yeah, better than the GoPros and half the videos out there. Now, you while we're on the subject, Dave, you have your Canon here. We can have a look at that. You just got a new lens, actually, that makes you guys just got new lenses that really makes the pictures look better than even being right here and seeing you in real life.
Actually,
they're so much clearer.
It's not this lens right here. I brought this one for shooting in the studio. It's a little bit smaller, but the one that I've got for the new one for the track is much larger, has a bigger f-stop on it, so that I can catch moving pictures much quicker, get better light, and try and create even closer to real pictures.
Right.
So I mean, if you check out some of the pictures that are on our Facebook and website from this last week, you'll see some of the stuff that's coming out of the new lens.
Right. Yeah. And Chris, you can answer this one. You guys have actually gone out of state. You guys have gotten out of state with this, taking these photos.
You want to talk to Dave on that one? He's the one that's out of state. I've stayed in state thus far.
Well, I went with him. I went I only went on one with him, but I know he's been. I think he might have been in a couple others where I didn't. But how was that experience for you going to out of state? Because you don't know anybody when you go to those tracks. And
Well, I get to meet people. I went to Montana to shoot the NSA Sprint Car Series.
oh, that's
And-
exciting.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 4 races in 5 days. All the tracks were at least 3 hours apart. So you raced and then you were jetting to try and get to the next track. But the people were incredible and I almost didn't want to come back. I mean, it was just that nice. Being, born and raised in California, people were just not that nice to strangers. These people, total strangers, they brought you in, took you to the best places to eat. If you had any technical difficulties, which I was having a problem with a computer, there was a local photographer that said, hey, I'll come down and help you out.
Right.
No problems, no egos. I mean, it was great.
That brings my next question. Either one of you can answer that. Is it a territorial kind of a thing you guys do, or do you find there is a lot of egos in photo taking?
Oh yeah, there is a big territorial thing at some tracks. There are a lot of egos, and then again, you run into some real nice people too. So
Right.
it can go either way.
Right.
It
So
just
how,
depends on who you run into.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So how long, Chris? How long have you been doing this with taking these photos here?
Well, as far as I guess you would say professionally or whatever, the race
Yeah.
tracks. This is we're going into our 3rd season, but God, I've had a camera in my hand for most of my life. Always been big photo enthusiast or hobbyist or whatever you want to call it. So I've taken millions of pictures over the years and just kind of started getting serious about it since we started doing this 2-3 years ago.
Right. So how did you? Either can answer this. How did action captured images develop?
Got a phone call from my brother. Like I said, he needed pictures. The photographer that he had decided to go a different direction, and so got a phone call from my brother. I called up Chris. Both of us love photography. Both of us, love racing, and both of us have kids that are up to an age that they don't need us around anymore. So we're free now to go and do the things that we've always wanted to, but because we were dedicated with our family, that we kind of set racing aside for a while just so that we could devote our time with our families.
Right.
Actually, wait a minute. He says what we wanted to do. I want to drive. Just don't have the resources and money, so I got to resort to this.
Well, so this is the next. So that's the next big thing then, I guess, is doing the photos since you can't drive.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's an awesome thing you guys do. I get to see from up in the announcer's booth, which is pretty exciting. But to be down there and be right down there in the meat of things and be in the middle of the track, it's just I don't know. It must be a sheer adrenaline rush.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But to be honest, for all the years I've been going to the races, I would rather, if I wasn't getting in on a press pass, for taking pictures, I'd much rather pay the full pit price and stand inside the track or right on the back fence in the pits there.
Right.
It's just more, like you say, you're part of the action, or you feel like you're a part of it. Instead of where you're sitting up in the stands. I've always felt detached from the show, and it's just, to me, it's more exciting being down, like I said, inside or the back straightaway. Even back in the day, I used to push truck too. So it was always, a part of it. It's just, it's just a lot more fun being down inside.
And you get and you guys get to get. I mean, I get to interact with having this wonderful show. But I'm up there announcing, but so I don't get to get as much. You guys actually get to interact more with the racers and the kids too. It must be so much fun to interact with the kids that race in their Outlaw Karts and the youngsters out there that race.
I know in my experiences, even the sprint car drivers, the euphoria of climbing out of that car after winning that main event, it's great. And you get to capture that moment, and they turn around and say, hey, Chris, or hey, Dave, thanks for being here, guys. And it makes all the difference in the world right there. We're there all night long. It's cold, but that one moment of recognition by the people who we actually came to watch, they know who we are, which is kind of cool.
Is there now is there money to be made with taking the photos? Or?
You know what?
Not that matters. Obviously, what you described is worth more than money in the world. I know my experience working with the kids is the same, but
for the most part in photography, if you want to go fast, you want to capture all the fast stuff, you need to spend a lot of money. It's just like a race car. The faster you want to go, the more money you want to spend.
Right.
So the nicer the pictures you're going to get, obviously the more you're going to have to spend on equipment to be able to capture those pictures.
And
so
I got one for Chris. So you've been mostly over at Petaluma, and then of course the Lakeport Indoor.
Correct.
Yeah. So how were those experiences for you being at those tracks?
Oh, Petaluma was awesome. You got pretty much full reign at wherever I want to go around the track, whether it's inside or outside. I could be hanging over the fence in turn 4. Get some great shots, or go inside turn 3, which is a really good spot to catch these guys when they totally pitch it sideways. Lakeport, I'm the only working photographer up there, and so pretty much I got free reign to go wherever I want. They just say the only thing they tell me there is, don't get hit.
Yeah.
Be careful. Other than that, they pretty much let me go, and both tracks are super nice. They treat me really well. I couldn't be happier at either track. They're both a great group of people. So, the experience has been great.
Right. Speaking of that, we actually have a photo that should be labeled Big Boss over there. Should be labeled Rec Photo. We've got a picture. We've got some rec photos. You guys have I'm sure, gotten to get up there and get quite a few of those. How is that for you when you're taking? Is that something there where you have to be really on it? I mean, you've got to be just almost your reflex.
Oh, it's our real rec photos. You talking about like somebody flipping or something?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, just I don't know. As far as I see it, is you're set up in the corner. You see somebody coming down. These guys may be bumping and grinding for a lap or two. You can kind of get a sense that maybe something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so you kind of keep an eye on that certain individual or individuals that are kind of getting after it. And every now and then you'll able to capture the shot. And every now and then something just may surprise you out of the blue, or somebody will break going into a corner, hit a rut or something, and they take off, and you happen to be in the right spot. It's all about being in the right spot at the right time with a lot of luck involved.
Yeah, but how do you? My biggest thing is how do you guys get them without? Because I know nothing about photography. How do you guys get them up in the air and they're in motion, and you get them with? How do you get it to be where it's not blurry? I mean, you gotta have some kind of a technique. I don't know. Maybe it's the camera you use, but.
Well, one more time, I'll chime in there, Dave. It's two different ways really you can shoot. You can shoot with a faster shutter speed, which completely slows the action down, where there's a blur. Where pretty much anybody can shoot with that. Or if you shoot with a slower shutter speed, trying to capture what a blurry background to make the actual subject or figure to look like they're going faster, you got to have a great panning technique, I guess as they call it. And it's got to be a nice steady panning technique where you're following your subject. And if you're faster or slower than the subject, then it's obviously going to come out blurry.
Yeah.
What I like is that I understand, and what I like too is I've seen a lot of Dave's photos, and where you see the wheels, you can see the car looks like it's stopped in one spot, but you can tell by the wheels that he's moving pretty quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
Chris and I have two different styles, really. Chris really likes to go with a much slower shutter speed. So when you look at his background, it looks like everything is totally blurred.
Right.
Whereas I'm more into trying to capture every last little detail, maybe with some minor blurring on the tires and stuff to show that there is motion.
Right.
Because you don't really want a car to look like it's just parked in a corner. Because with some of these cameras, you can go at the 1/4000th shutter speed, and you can make it look like a parking lot.
Right.
Yeah,
and
exactly. That's no fun. I mean, that really ruins the whole illusion of what you're trying to capture, which is cars going fast. That's what we love to see.
Right.
And as far as the wrecks, yeah, we like to capture them if they happen, but yeah, I'd much rather see a 30-lap race with no wrecks, 3 cars getting sideways, than seeing one or two cars getting tangled up and flipping.
Yeah. However, that's why the fans go. You know,
Well,
the fans like to see the wrecks, but you know.
Well, I guess being an ex-driver, that makes
Yeah.
where I come
Right.
from. I'd rather see cars go fast than cars wreck.
Right.
So.
Right. So what's the overall goal plan for you guys? Basically, short term and long term. Are you guys?
Money.
Well, I mean, do you plan on hopefully maybe getting to do this for NASCAR?
No, I said make money.
Yeah, make money.
Really, we like dirt tracks. Yeah,
I know that. I noticed that,
everybody keeps talking about NASCAR and going there. There's a million people with cameras trying to chase around NASCARs, and once again, like I said, the faster you want to go, the more money you have to spend. And I don't know if you've seen some of the lenses that some of those guys have, but they're monster lenses. They spend $20,000-$30,000 just on a lens.
Oh yeah.
That's not counting the camera that they use to operate the thing. Chris and I both, we're cut our teeth on dirt tracks, and that's just where we like to go. There's some excellent paved tracks around here that we want to go to, but on a priority list is just not quite as high.
The dirt's a priority.
Exactly.
Everything I thought about, I'm going to be announcing for a few this year. My schedule is not permitting me to do a whole lot of it, but flat track motorcycles. You guys thought about venturing into those, or?
Personally, myself, I love motorcycles because I grew up on motorcycles.
Oh yeah, this would be a better question for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we went over one day early last year to Dixon Speedway and decided to go shoot the motocross track over there. It was a practice day, but we both got out on different parts of the track and just started firing off shots and dropped a few cards around the pits, made some new friends. I think we sold a few photos online, nothing big, but it was just something different. It was refreshing to get out there and catch a bike cross up in the corner, a guy getting some massive air off a big jump. It was a total different experience, and personally myself, I really enjoyed it.
And then,
so to answer your question, I would definitely entertain doing some flat track. We shot what is that?
Gene Romero.
The Gene Romero flat track series that's rolled through Petaluma the last 2 seasons.
Yes.
So we actually have shot flat track the last 2 years in a row.
Right, those are absolutely amazing. I enjoy calling those races too. Yeah, those are absolute. Those are just as exciting.
They get going fast, and sometimes I think they're crazy because they don't have a roll bar over them.
No, and the rolling start, they have the rolling start. Yeah.
Right.
So they're not.
No device or anything like that.
Right. All right. Well, we're unless you guys would like to thank anybody you guys would like to thank, sponsors, anybody that sponsors you. I don't know.
Right now, we have no sponsors. We basically have ourselves, which
and you have your stickers on cars,
which is www.acimages.ac-images.net. There you go.
I know it. Yeah.
You've got
your website. I have to announce it. Admittingly, I announce it every weekend to give you guys a push. So.
And we appreciate that
It rolls
very
off
much.
the tongue. It rolls off the tongue. Yeah. So ac-images.net, and you're also on Facebook. Action Captured Images, that is. For those of you who don't know AC Images, it's who may live under just kidding, but a rock. But yeah, Action Captured Images. Yeah.
You usually can find that week's races, the winners, and that stuff on our Facebook page, and then on the website we have everything from the week.
How would somebody approach you? Say I'm racing and I really want to get this on photo. How would I approach you? Hey Dave,
The easiest way to buy a photo from us is go to our website. On the home page, there is a search engine. You type in the driver's name, and it'll take you to every night that we have that driver.
Okay.
Then from there, you click on the driver, and it'll drop down any picture we have of that night. You click on the picture, and then from there, you can pick, just like you're doing on any shopping cart on the internet, where you add it to your shopping cart, you pick the size, and then you have 3 choices. You can either have it digitally downloaded right to your computer. You can go ahead.
Easy. Pretty easy, yeah.
You can have it printed and mailed directly to you, or we can have it printed and take it to you at the track, and you can pay for it right at the track.
Wow.
So 3 different options for whatever you feel comfortable with, and we'll go from there.
Well, race fans and racers, it can't get more easier than that if you want to get a photo. So take home a memory, I always say.
And that way you don't have a photographer chasing you around with a slug of pictures going, can you please buy one of my pictures? And you're feeling guilty and having to buy one.
Do you guys sometimes feel like the paparazzi?
No,
just
not
kidding.
yet. If somebody says I don't want a picture taken, then
No, of course
we
not.
have no problems not taking them.
I was kidding. Anyway, Chris, thank you for being on the show. Unless you have anything else you'd like to give a shout out to, I'll let you go and let Dave go, and we're going to get into our recap.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks for having us. This is really cool. Just the only shout out I'd like to give is just to the promoters of both tracks that I've worked in the last years, Lakeport and Petaluma. They've been really great. I thanks Rick Faith at Petaluma and Blair and Jen over at Lakeport. And even Jerry and Dixon, I've worked over there.
We've seen you over there a few times.
Dave Berry over at Checkered. I thank all those guys for letting us come in and work their tracks. And I thank you, Shannon, for having us on here.
Hey, no problem, Chris. You have a good night, man.
All right, you guys take care.
Right. All right, Chris Scott and Dave, thank you for being on the show, man.
Thank you
We'll go ahead and let you scoot because I'm sure you got lots you got to do. And we're going to get, unless you want to hang out for the rest of the show, it's up to you, man. You can chill right there where you're at.
Okay, perfect.
All right, we're going to get to the 600 recap of Dixon Speedway for the points race. Unfortunately, this past weekend, the Mother Nature was the main event winner this past weekend, so we weren't able to do anything this past weekend. But we do have the 600 race that we haven't recapped yet. So, getting with the junior sprints, not junior outlaws. I make that mistake a lot of times. No, junior outlaw, not junior sprints. Colby Ramiro in the number 94. These are the dashes. So Colby Ramiro won the dash. Spot number 2, Dylan Bloomfield. Big hats off. Isabel Barnes, number 3. They raced a really good race. But I don't know if you remember that. Isabel Barnes. They were They're
right there.
Oh yeah, they were right there. You're
Those
right.
last 3 spots were neck and neck.
Oh yeah. That was in your. It's amazing these kids are doing those in your seat racing. It's just amazing. And Jeffrey Pahul at number 4 because there was 4 of the Junior Outlaws main event. Clean sweep for Colby Romero, by the way, because he actually won the heat race too. So Colby Romero heat race, and then he won the main event. So clean sweep. Dylan Bloomfield in spot number 2. Isabel Barnes 3rd again. Yep, she was right behind. She was right behind him the entire race.
Pushing him, yes.
Oh, pushing him. Yeah, you know it. The entire race. Jeffrey Pahul in spot number 4 again. Same exact. 600 dash 3/4 running a restrictor plate. Big hats off to Dylan Horsley for winning the dash. Kenny Wanderstadt, number 2. Yep, number 3, Vincent Duggan and Jacob Tuttle in spot number 4. The main for the 3/4. Dylan Horsley came back and won the main. There's another amazing kid.
Yes, he is.
All 3, clean sweep. All 3, yeah.
He's just about ready to move up.
Oh, yeah. He's ready to get rid of that restrictor plate. Vincent Duggan came in at number 2. Kenny Wanderstadt, number 3. Number 4, Hunter Griffin, going with the top 5. Jacob Tuttle in 5th. Going now down to the 600 multi-dash. Let's get to that one. The 600 multi-dash, Sean Kahn took the win. John Bordenave took the win. Great night for the VNH Fresh, part of the VNH Fresh team. Spot number 2, not bad. The 55, Brandon Carey in number 3. Ryan Timmons in 4th. Dustin Sponsel for spot number 5, also part of the VNH team. I think a lot of cars, a lot of VNH has really taken on a lot of the cars. It's a great thing they're doing out there.
It's a nice thing to see that somebody's taking
Somebody's taking that serious. All right, so let's go down to the 600 multi-main. Scott Malden won the main. John Bordenay, number 2. Sean Kahn, number 3. Brandon Carey at number 4. Ryan Timmons bringing up the top 5. So we're going to go down, scroll down to, get down here. Yep, a little bit more. To the 5/8. Yeah, to the 5/8 with a restrictor plate. Robbie Lewis took the win. Anthony Bruno in spot number 2. Tucker Lacaz in 3rd. And in 4th, Kyle Mensch. 5/8 main. There was not a whole lot of 5/8, so, Anthony Bruno took the win for that. Number 2, Kyle Mensch. Tucker Lacaz in number 4, Joey Ancona. And let's go to the 250 micros on the dash. Jackie Whitson Jr., big hats off to the girl. She raced a really good race that night. No, wasn't her that won?
Not a girl.
Oh, Jackie? Oh, well, I guess
it's Jackie, but
okay, I guess Jack. Okay, thank you for correcting me on that.
There you go.
I would have gotten a call later probably or a nice little thing on Facebook. Yeah. Sorry about that. Jackie Whitson Jr. Adam Zachary. See, this is why it's so cool that you because you know these, you deal.
Well,
You're down there on the track and you talk to them, so.
I get to talk to them, take their pictures when they win the trophy dashes.
Yeah, exactly.
And, oh yeah.
Adam Zachary in spot number 3. Scott Holloway, number 4. Rob Barker, the 250 micro main. Jackie came back and did it again. Scott Holloway, number 2. Number 3, Rob Barker, number 2. No, it's number 4, number 2. The McKinnon, and the top 5 was Adam Zachary. Going to the wingless dash, Ryan Timmons won the dash. Cohen Shaw in number 2. Danny Carroll, V&H Fresh Team, number 3. Number 4, Mike Martin, Sean Codd.
Another V8.
Another V8, Mike Martin, Sean. That's one of the latest ones, isn't it? One of the newer ones? I think so. That's number 5. So let's go down to the wingless main. Ryan Timmons came in at number 1. Sean Codd at number 2. Mike Martin, number 3. V&H Fresh. Danny Carroll, number 4. 2 V&H Fresh cars placing in the top. Right on. So let's go to, I believe that was him. Yep, I believe that is the and we got a few minutes left. So I want to also give a hats off to Jenna Perkins. She's raced a really good race. You were down there.
Yes,
you can tell a little bit about what happened.
She was running really well, and it looked like something let go, and she got sprayed pretty well with some steam from the engine. Burned her a little bit. Don't know the extent of it, but I know that she went over, and the people in the ambulance took a look at her and make sure she was okay.
Yeah, she's one tough girl. Though.
Oh, she is.
She's
very tough.
Are you kidding me? Her and Chloe Grasty. Her and Chloe are tough. They're tough young little racing chicks, and she wanted to get back in the race again. I mean, Jenna was like, yeah, she wanted to get back in the main event. She actually, I think, was going to, but then something happened with the car, was my understanding, so she wasn't able to get back out and race. So, yeah.
She'll be back next.
Oh, yeah,
race.
she'll be back. She'll be back this next one Saturday. And by the way, the weather looks great, too, so keep our fingers crossed. The weather's looking good. It's supposed to be 75 and clear, which is ideal for racing conditions. So,
in a world where business is tough, when your mornings are in a daze, tired and broken down, Ace Nealer set out on a quest.
What's the matter, sir?
oh, I'm just looking for that one good cup of coffee, you know?
Oh, really? I know the perfect place.
Where?
Just right over there. Yaya's Coffee House.
Okay.
Yaya's Coffee House. With freshly brewed coffee. Convenient location. Comfortable seating. Bonus features, free Wi-Fi.
Gee, kid, thanks. I feel so much better.
You're welcome, and thank you for this hot chocolate and this donut.
Hey, no problem. Oh, by the way, how much is the Wi-Fi here?
It's free.
Are you serious?
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yaya's Coffee House. Located at 14812 Olympic Drive in Clear Lake. Coming to a coffee cup near you.
Hi, my name is Justin Cox, and I would love to be a part of the Peak Stock Kart Dream Challenge. So Peak is looking for grassroots racers. What is a grassroots racer, some may ask? Well, a grassroots racer is someone that's dedicated the last 15 years of their life to the sport of racing. Somebody that missed out on the high school experience only to travel up and down America racing from dirt track to dirt track. Somebody that's missed out a lot in recent years with their friends, family, and even missed out on some holidays. Somebody that's given 110% each and every day to get to the racetrack that weekend. Somebody that at the early age of 16 left their friends and family back at home to move across the country to pursue their career in racing. I am that grassroots racer. I currently race wing, dirt, 360, and 410 sprint cars up and down the West Coast. I've worked my whole life looking for the right opportunities to showcase my talent. I believe with hard work and dedication, along with the right attitude on and off the track, someday the right opportunity will rise. I believe that this is that opportunity. With the help of Peak, Michael Waltrip Racing, and the Peak Stock Car Dream Challenge, I believe I can turn my dreams into reality.
Next week, we talk to announcer Caleb Hart, car racer Justin Cox. We also check in with quarter midget racer Landon Hirschler.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for watching the show. Until next week, same time, same place. Be sure to check us out on our website. You can actually watch us live now on www.checkeredflagshow.com. Peace out, race fans.
Check a flag. Bring it down. A beast of machine, waiting on you with speed, running gasoline lean. Give me all what I need, indeed. Pedal to the metal, so like that I dream. Can't settle for tea kettle when I can roast them like coffee beans. My chassis splitting the seams, pumping supreme. A rough race with enough trace, left smoking with steam. Spinning wheels as we hit the deals with high velocity. Break the rules of physics to win, become a race odyssey. Might be second place, but I'm riding behind. Set the draft, fly by the G-force, adjust, get the better laugh. My tires may be bald, riding the weather tracks, but I've left my checker pass so I can reach the checkered flag.